to KZN now, where the eThekwini Mayor Mxolisi Kaunda has promised Tongaat residents that damaged infrastructure will be repaired by October. He was responding to a protest by residents over the lack of water supply following April's deadly floods in KwaZulu-Natal. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is live for us from Durban. Karinda, good evening. We know just how much those residents have been suffering over the last couple of months. What's difficult, of course, is that officials don't seem to be working with any clear deadlines in terms of when they will repair what infrastructure, leading to added frustration.
Indeed, that's the frustration of residents not knowing when they will have running water from their taps. It's been 5 months. They've been counting the days. They say it's been over 140 days that they have been without running tap water. It's very difficult for them to live life on a daily basis, especially because they say that water tankers are not coming frequently into their area. They say that one water tanker is coming every 2 or 3 days, and there's not enough water in that water tanker to serve everyone who needs water. So one person also told us that he's trying to use at least 5 liters of water, a bucket of 5 liters of water over 2 or 3 days, which is just not enough for one person to go about their daily requirements. Water is a basic right, it's a basic necessity. And so the residents also say they feel that their human rights have been violated. They've actually escalated this matter up to the South African Human Rights Commission because of the lengthy period of time that they've been without water. And then the other complaints are that there's not enough water tankers coming into their community. But after their protest today, they actually started protesting from early this morning. We managed to speak to the eThekwini Mayor, Mxolisi Kaunda, who then said that he believes the project to refurbish or rebuild the Tongaat water treatment plant that was damaged during the April floods might be complete by October, which means that the project would be handed over to the community on the 5th of November. That's the date he's given us in our interview. And so residents are now waiting for that date, although for them, they are also now hoping, or they're demanding rather, that they see an additional deployment of water tankers in their community as they're struggling with just day-to-day living because of the lack of water.
Karinda, how did residents justify then the destruction of the very few water tankers that they had, that we're seeing in some of these visuals?
Early this morning when we got to Tongaat, we saw 2 JoJo tanks that had been set alight, and then we heard that nearby a third was set alight. The community members, I actually did speak to one resident who said that these JoJo tanks had been laying empty for quite some time. He also claimed that there were issues with the JoJo tanks themselves. These are static tanks, and out of their frustration, they burned this. But of course, we've seen some reaction as well by others who were confused about this burning of the very same resource that one needs when it comes to saving water. But for those who were there in the middle of that protest, in their frustration, they said that, well, these static tanks were useless to them because there weren't water tankers, trucks coming into the area to fill these static tanks, and also alleged that there were some faults with these tanks. The eThekwini Mayor has issued a plea to those who are protesting, who have been protesting over the past few months, to refrain from destroying public infrastructure because it will then increase the cost on the side of the municipality or further delay the projects that need to get underway. For example, today, Kathy, the parliamentary committee that was set up, an ad hoc committee to conduct oversight into rebuilding after the floods, they were doing oversight visits in Durban. They were in Mxolisi and in other parts of Durban, and they were supposed to go to Tongaat to visit that water treatment works. But they cancelled their trip because of what they described as volatile protests. They were fearful of going there with their security vehicles. They came with a number of Metro Police officers as well as a convoy essentially of luxury vehicles to do these oversight visits. But they felt that they could not go to Tongaat because of the protests that were there. Although the residents there did say that they actually will welcome officials. They want to speak to officials because For them, they want answers as to when they're going to get running water in their homes again.
All right, Karinda, Jagmohan, let's leave it there for tonight. She's live for us in Durban, was monitoring that protest.